You and I really only have two actual resources with our life. And these are finite. And it's not money. It's time and it's energy. That's it. Your time and your energy is more precious than all the riches in the world. In fact, if someone were to come up to you and offer you $10 million, but you couldn't leave it behind and you couldn't give it to anybody else, that $10 million was gone when you're gone. And in exchange, you get one more day left to live. You wouldn't take that deal. And let's be generous. Say it's $1 billion and you got a month. You still wouldn't take it. That's because what you want to do with your time and your energy and experiences of life are so much more valuable. And yet, these two sacred resources of time and energy are so often just wasted through lack of focus. Focus is the tunnel for which you can bring these two things into the formation of what you actually want to create. And the most important thing you can do with your time and your energy is to focus it into what really matters. And that's your art. But this is a major issue in today's day and age where everyone is overdosing on cheap dopamine, social media hits, and nonstop entertainment. Every second that you spend with your focus being unconsciously drawn towards meaningless distractions is just another moment of life spent drifting away from your true essence. But there's a solution, and it's actually really simple. I'm going to give you the ultimate hack, but it's not a hack at all. I'm going to share the thing that actually works for me, and it works in creating a massive amount of focus towards a life of being prolific. And I've observed this for myself, and I've even tracked it. And it's so simple. Not easy necessarily. But before I do share this with you, let's go on a little magical journey, shall we? Let's go back in time to the time of the 1980s and the 1990s where I grew up. Now, I'm Gen X, so this means that I have a very clear reference point to life before the internet and before smartphones. And in this mythical time of the 80s and 90s, children would just wake up and get ready for the day, and they would leave the house and they would disappear, never setting their eyes on a screen at all. We would roam neighborhoods and stores and alleys and rivers and arcades and going from the skate park to someone's house, one adventure to the next. Gotten some dangerous situations too, but then in my high school days, I would come home from school and I would need to occupy myself with something because I wasn't going to do homework. So mind you, in my house, my parents actually had a rule of 1 hour of TV a day. You know, this generation thought that TV was rotting our brains. And so they had a rule, you can only watch 1 hour of TV in a day. So contrast that to how most people live our lives. Do you even go 1 hour of your day not looking at a screen? Maybe when you're asleep, but that's about it. Most people today, if you say like, go on a break from social media, they have almost a panic attack. Or conversely, they'll think that they're some hero and announce it like, hey, I'm taking a week break from social media. Like it's a Herculean feat. But it's not how we just lived not that long ago. So what did I do with myself with all that time in the day? I don't know what everyone else did, but in high school, I would retreat into my room and I would spend hours on hours and hours writing, playing, and recording music. Now I have piles and piles full of notebooks, just full of angsty teenage poetry and lyrics that I kept from those years, and I'm not sharing any of them in any of these videos because they were pretty terrible. But what would, by today's standards, feel like an insufferable form of boredom was, in fact, a channel for insane productivity. And I would say that in the span of 6 years or so, when I started writing at age 15 into early 20s, I wrote well over 200 songs, probably closer to like 500. Full songs. These are layered and whatever else, lyrics. And here I am decades older, and probably less than 5% of them were actually any good at all. There might have been hints of my quality, but nothing I'm ever going to share today. But like any skill, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I can confidently say at age 45 that I am actually a great songwriter. My lyrics in particular are something that I take a lot of pride in and I think set me apart from the pack. But I would not have developed any excellence of my craft without those terrible hundreds and hundreds of songs and notebooks, which were cultivated by a void of entertainment. So do you want to know what the key to focus is in this day and age? The hack is, it's boredom. Focus is not about adding a time tracker or a new app or reading the hot book on procrastination or whatever it might be. It's about putting away the phone entirely. If you simply eliminate all the bullshit, cheap dopamine, the porn, the doom scrolling, the dating apps, the one more video, sports talk, video games, even talking about your art, mindless podcasts, meme sharing, and you just allow yourself to become bored out of your damn mind, your brain will force itself to do something interesting. If you want to be great at something, you have to limit your options. If you can manage to simply cut out the massive amounts of noise that we're all swimming in on your day-to-day and keep your tool of your art within reach, the natural energies will simply reach to it and do something far more meaningful with your life. All it takes is the will to change the diet of your mind and your spirit and attention ultimately. One of the most powerful parables that always stuck a chord in my heart was the parable of the sower, where Jesus talks about the farmer who sowed seeds on various types of soil. And out of the 4 seeds or the 4 soils, only one actually took root and sprouted a good crop. Some seeds fell on the pathway and they never took root because this represents the people who hear the message, but they just don't understand it. You're hearing my message, you understand it. Other seeds fell on rocky soil, but the roots wouldn't go deep enough. So the plants wilted in the sun. And this represents people who hear the message and they take initiative, but then they give up quickly because the message doesn't go down deep enough. And the last seeds were the plants that grew up and were choked out in the midst of thorns and weeds. And these weeds represent the cares and concerns and the distractions of the world, and they kill the healthy plant. So which soil is your heart? The kingdom of God within you is your God-given talent and your drive and your passion to make your art. All you have to do is protect the good soil and cultivate it, tear up the thorns, get rid of the stones. So if you want unwavering focus and unleash your prolific, profound artistry on the world, simply do nothing. Allow for nothing else to enter that space. Embrace that 90s life, like the one that I grew up. It's actually a lot of fun. And if we artists aren't going to be the weirdos and the misfits and the rebels who reject the status quo of a dopamine-addicted culture and plant a flag in something real, then who will? The artists are often the catalyst and the light on the hill, showing people something else and inspiring them, because a lot of times we're the taste makers and the taste creators and the culture shapers. And in this case, when you need to focus and do what is most meaningful for you, less is more. Get creating. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and for a lot of you who have come back and watched other videos, I will ask you, please subscribe to the channel. It really will help me. It'll send a message to YouTube to continue to push this to other people, other artists and other people. And we are creating a community of many artists. So I have a lot more stuff planned and a lot more exciting things to share in the coming weeks. So share this, like this, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.